was there a real threat to blow up the Sears Tower in Chicago? Some mixed messages from the Bush administration about more terrorism. Is it a good idea to go out and buy a gun? Some Americans are doing so reluctantly. Inside Afghanistan, the people who have no idea what happened on September the 11th. And from the children of Kosovo to children here, you'll get through this. We did.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. There are several reports in the broadcast tonight which have to do with confusion, and in the current circumstances, we should not be surprised. But we're going to begin with our investigative reporter, Brian Ross. Brian, I have a simple question for you. As far as the government is concerned, was there a real threat against the Sears Tower in Chicago?
Depends who you talk to, Peter. The FBI says it has no specific or credible evidence of a threat. But federal officials with access to intelligence information say the government moved late last week to reevaluate emergency evacuation plans for the tower. It is the country's tallest building, and the government decided to take the action following new evidence seen in Washington that there was a plot to target the building.
Please have your IDs ready to go into the building.
An obvious concern to the people who work here ever since September 11th.
I think there's probably a 1% chance of something happening, but who needs that?
The concerns in Washington grew last week with the arrest of 5 people connected to a suspected terrorist cell, including some who had licenses to drive trucks that carry hazardous materials and explosives. The center of the cell is believed to have been the second floor of this rundown apartment house in Detroit, decorated by American flag bunting.
It hurts to know that it is as close as it is.
3 men were arrested last week at the apartment. A 4th man was tracked down outside Chicago. And a 5th man, Yusef Himza, called a master counterfeiter of phony IDs, was captured over the weekend in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Witnesses said Himza had lived in this apartment complex only a few months, and that the arrest was made after a chase at gunpoint by Secret Service agents.
This guy is part of that, and to be in Cedar Rapids, the next question that came out is why? Why is he here?
The head of counterterrorism for the FBI in Chicago was at the Sears Tower today for a meeting with security officials. But the FBI said categorically there was no evidence that directly connected the Detroit group to any Sears Tower plot, Peter.
Thanks, Brian. On the subject of confusion, no one quite knows what the Bush administration has in mind for Afghanistan or when, but the British Broadcasting Corporation reports tonight that the British Prime Minister, Tony Blair, is going to tell his nation tomorrow that an attack on the Taliban in Afghanistan is imminent and will be devastating. We certainly know the preparations continue for a possible U.S. military attack against Afghanistan. ABC's John McWethy is with us at the Pentagon. John, an American aircraft carrier left Japan today for the region, but with no planes.
No planes, Peter. The USS Kitty Hawk is on its way, and it is going to be used in a way its designers never intended. The military term for it is lily pad. They intend to use it as a major operating base for Army forces, special operations troops, their helicopters, and command. The ship would float out in international waters off the coast of Pakistan, and it would provide the U.S. with absolute security, secrecy, and flexibility, and it would keep U.S. forces out of the political turmoil in Pakistan, again, reducing some of the pressure on the government of Pakistan.
As for the British Prime Minister, if the reporting from Britain is correct, does he know something the rest of us don't know?
Certainly we are not getting the same indications on this side, Peter, but if he knows something, we'll watch with interest.
Many thanks. Jack McWethy at the Pentagon. Overseas, in Rome today, opponents of the Taliban regime, including the former king of Afghanistan, were making preparations for a new government. How realistic that is a whole other matter. They did agree to convene an emergency council of military and tribal leaders to begin the process. With a report on the situation inside Afghanistan today, here's ABC's Bob Woodruff.
This was the Afghan town of Jalalabad today, quiet, shuttered. The people heading for the countryside and the border by any means they can. It's the first confirmation of reports that at least one of Afghanistan's cities is clearing out. As people try to leave the country, some food is finally getting in. For the first time in almost 3 weeks, the UN felt safe enough to truck supplies into Afghanistan, and the Taliban did not stop them. dozens of trucks, nearly 1,000 tons of food. With up to 6 million people at risk, it is just a trickle.
Much more aid has got to get into Afghanistan if we are going to forestall a massive refugee movement.
The Taliban is also trying to forestall a refugee movement by convincing Afghans there's no reason to leave. In a radio address, the leader of the Taliban told his people the Americans don't have the courage to come here. But from the president of Pakistan today, one of the strongest suggestions yet that a strike against the Taliban is coming and coming soon. He said hopes of Osama bin Laden being handed over are now dim, and the Taliban's days are numbered. Bob Woodruff, ABC News, Islamabad.
The Secretary of Transportation got some recommendations today about improving security for the airlines. ABC's Lisa Stark is in the Washington Bureau. Before the security recommendations, Lisa, National Airport, open or not?
Well, we understand from our sources, Peter, that President Bush tomorrow will announce that National Airport will reopen, but it won't happen quickly. It could be weeks away because there will be some new strict security procedures, including armed air marshals on flights in and out of National Airport, also more secure cockpit doors, and also double screening of passengers, 2 screenings for passengers leaving National and those coming into the airport.
Now, for general aviation in the country, there were these recommendations to Mr. Mineta today, some of them to be completed in 30 days.
These task force were due, their reports were due today. They went to the Secretary of Transportation. Within 30 days, the task force want stronger cockpit doors on all airplanes. That may include a deadbolt or some kind of a bar. They also want new communications measures between flight attendants and pilots to alert pilots if there's a threat in the back of the plane, then pilots would immediately prepare to land. And they also want new avoidance maneuvers to literally throw a hijacker off his or her feet.
Many thanks, Lisa Stark in Washington. There's been some confusion for the public in the last 48 hours about whether the country should be worried about an attack using chemical or biological weapons. In part, it is a question of tone. Consider the comments first from Tommy Thompson, the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and then Andy Card, the President's Chief of Staff.
We got to make sure that people understand that they're safe and that we're prepared to take care of any contingency, any consequence that develops for any kind of bioterrorism attack.
Well, I'm not trying to be an alarmist, but we know that these terrorist organizations like Al-Qaeda, run by Osama bin Laden and others, have probably found the means to use biological or chemical warfare, and that is very, very bad for the world, but we have to be diligent.
It is a little difficult to pin down the administration's exact approach to the threat, but it may reassure some people to know that the federal government has a concrete plan of action in the event of a chemical or biological attack. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
We cannot tell you where these pictures were taken. The government says they were shot at one of 8 secret locations in the U.S., where 50 tons of vaccines, antibiotics, and other supplies are held in case of emergency. That's why the government urges calm.
There are systems in place to deal with it. Those systems need to be strengthened, but they will serve us well at the moment.
The Department of Health and Human Services says it has 15.4 million doses of smallpox vaccine and enough antibiotics against anthrax to protect 2 million people for 2 months. These can be delivered to the site of an attack within hours. Some of the drugs were rushed to New York on September 11th, just in case. The government says it has 81 labs around the country to watch for deadly toxins. That's the good news, said one official, that in the last 3 years a big effort has been mounted. But it still needs to get bigger. 40 million new smallpox shots have been ordered, but will not be ready before next year.
We're just going to check your blood pressure now.
What's more, many local doctors may not recognize the symptoms from an attack or know what authorities to call.
There's a problem of coordination among local, state, and federal agencies, which would be tripping all over each other in an actual incident.
But scientists still say an effective biological attack would be very difficult to pull off. In the end, it might be more frightening than lethal. Ned Potter, ABC News, New York.
The mayor of New York, Rudolph Giuliani, had a rare experience today. He's the first mayor in almost 50 years to address the UN General Assembly. The UN is spending a whole week on terrorism.
The United Nations must hold accountable any country that supports or condones terrorism. Otherwise, you will fail in your primary mission as peacekeeper. It must ostracize any nation that supports terrorism. It must isolate any nation that remains neutral in the fight against terrorism.
There was also a reminder today of how delicate the situation is generally in that part of the world. In the disputed territory of Kashmir today, between Pakistan and India, there was a suicide bomb attack on the State Assembly building. Kashmir is controlled by India, and several gunmen also stormed the building and fired on the security forces. At least 25 people have died, and 75 others were wounded. A group with strong ties to Pakistan says that it was responsible for this. There was a car bomb on the edge of Jerusalem today on the road between Jerusalem and Bethlehem, and there were no injuries. When we come back, we'll take a closer look inside Afghanistan, where some people actually don't know what happened here on September the 11th. We'll meet the people who thought they would never buy guns until the terrorists attacked, and get some comforting messages for children who suffered in the attacks here from children overseas who know about loss.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Mitsubishi Lancer.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me, 'cause you heard the designers I'm angry. 5 days since you laughed at me, saying, come back and see me. Yesterday, you've forgiven me, but it'll still be today till I say I'm sorry. Like vanilla, it's the finest of the flavors. And to see the show, 'cause then you know the drug goers at my door and don't beg your risk your life to sign a waiver. I have a tendency to wear my mind up my sleeve. I had this reason to say it's been 1 week since you looked at me. Dropped your eyes to the side and said I'm sorry.
Your eyes need nutrition as well as the rest of your body, so Centrum and Centrum Silver added lutein to help maintain your precious sight. Now your eyes, your toes, and everything in between are covered by Centrum and Centrum Silver. More complete from A to Zinc.
The best laid plans begin with DuPont Stainmaster Carpet. Because only DuPont Stainmaster has the advanced Teflon repel system, so incriminating evidence won't stick. Backed and warranted by DuPont.
29, 30.
Now at Red Lobster, you can get 30 mouth-watering shrimp for just $9.99. Red Lobster, go overboard.
Introducing the revolutionary new Icy Hot Patch. It concentrates pain relief where it hurts.
You gotta try this.
Icy first to dull the pain, then hot to relax it away for hours of relief. The new Icy Hot Patch.
Fantastic how long it works.
Pepperidge Farm Texas Toast.
Okay, I'll get the pasta bowl. It's a silverware.
Hot, crusty garlic toast. Just 5 minutes to make. It's probably ready before you are. Pepperidge Farm. Never have an ordinary day.
At college campuses around the country tonight, there are numerous gatherings in favor of gun control. For its part, the National Rifle Association says it will resist any effort to restrict the rights of gun owners because of the terrorist attacks. And ABC's John Cochran has found that in the wake of the attacks, in some parts of the country, gun sales are actually brisk.
Okay, it was your last round. Amy Doherty never wanted a gun in her home. Certainly never thought she and her husband would find themselves on a Northern Virginia firing range. Super. Excellent. Like others in their gun training class, the Dohertys realized a gun might not stop a terrorist attack, but could protect them from civil disorder that might follow.
It's mob mentality is what I'm afraid of, yeah.
It's just the fear of the unknown and what could possibly happen.
Some buyers are long-time owners who now want more guns, more ammunition. But many gun dealers report they're selling mostly to people who have never owned one, like Chris Rue.
I've always been against buying guns and having a handgun because if it's not there, no damage can be done. Just the recent events, I had to be prepared.
Dealers report the heaviest sales on the East Coast, especially in gun shops not far from where the terrorist attacks occurred. In Chantilly, Virginia, this dealer sold out and had to restock.
I've been here for 10, 11 years now, and I have never seen it as busy as it has been right now.
In California, far from where the attacks took place, sales shot up 50%.
We're selling guns almost as fast as we're receiving them.
The biggest jump since the Los Angeles riots 9 years ago. In Pasadena, Tom Farrell bought a rifle.
There is a time when people need to know how to protect themselves, and if you're not a black belt or something, it's what else can you do?
But some first-time gun owners wonder if they're doing the right thing.
You're still not sure it was a great idea to go out and buy a weapon?
Not 100%. Maybe not even 50%.
The president has urged Americans to resume their normal lives. For thousands of Americans, owning a gun may not be normal, but it is now part of their lives. John Cochran, ABC News, Chantilly, Virginia.
There are several other items in the national briefing tonight, beginning with the Supreme Court, which convened with a moment of silence today. The justices said they would not decide several cases. They let stand a ruling that racial profiling is not unconstitutional. They denied an appeal from a Muslim woman who was not allowed to wear a headscarf at the car rental where she worked. And the court also said that former President Clinton could not argue cases before the Supreme Court, even if he wished to. He can appeal, but his legal license has already been suspended in Arkansas for dishonesty in the Paula Jones case. This came as a bit of a surprise. Half the state workers in Minnesota have gone on strike. That's 28,000 people, everyone from janitors to healthcare workers and zookeepers. The dispute is about wages and benefits. The union had delayed negotiations because of the terrorist attacks, but now it says its members are proud to be American and that striking is a fundamental democratic right. And on the U.S.-Mexico border, hundreds of Mexicans are being turned away by American customs because they failed to convert their border crossing cards into the new laser visas, which contain fingerprints and magnetic strips. About 2 million Mexicans have actually missed the deadline. When we're going to come back, a closer look at a world apart, the people who do not know about the attack on the United States.
I'm every man.
And every woman who ever suffered from frequent, persistent heartburn.
If you've treated your heartburn and changed your diet, but it comes back 2 or more days a week, then you may know about the burning pain of acid reflux disease.
But there's something about acid reflux that I didn't know.
Over time, that acid churning up can wear away the lining of your esophagus.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't.
But today, there's a purple pill called Nexium. It's from the makers of Prilosec. Just 1 prescription Nexium a day gives many people complete resolution of heartburn symptoms.
That could mean complete heartburn relief.
And importantly, Nexium is also proven to heal erosions in the esophagus caused by acid reflux. Only a doctor can determine if you have this damage. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium and Prilosec are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. So talk to your doctor and call this number for more information and for a free trial certificate for Nexium.
Relieve the heartburn, heal the damage. It's possible with today's purple pill called Nexium.
Be adventurous. Be plugged in. Be involved. Be powerful. Be yourself. Because it's your choice, your voice, and your attitude. Today's AARP.
If you have a little difficulty bathing or care for someone who does, take comfort.
Take comfort. Take comfort. There's comfort bath. Take comfort.
Comfort Bath. Thick as a washcloth, disposable Comfort Bath can be microwaved for a warm, soothing bath. And Comfort Bath won't dry out skin like soap.
There's comfort bath. Take comfort.
Look for Comfort Bath at your drugstore.
Dear Aleve, I was always a morning person. It's the very best part of my day. So when arthritis pain robbed me of my mornings, I was determined to find relief. I tried Tylenol, but that painful morning stiffness was still there. Then my doctor told me about Aleve and a new clinical study.
In addition to all-day pain relief, Aleve is better than extra-strength Tylenol for relieving morning stiffness.
Now mornings are mine again, and that's a beautiful feeling. Thanks, Aleve.
There is hardly a night that goes by these days when we don't have a report from one of our reporters inside Afghanistan on such crucial issues as the state of the Taliban regime, the state of the anti-Taliban fighting forces, and the imminent human disaster if people do not get food. They are daily stories of huge importance. Tonight, as an addition, we get a closer look at how isolated Afghans are from what happened here and why the U.S. is so determined to get Osama bin Laden. ABC's Mike Lee reports from the village of Hojo Bahaudin in the north.
Such beauty and such poverty in one place. There's no electricity, so everything is powered by hand or by donkeys. No running water, no paved roads. The dirt and dust often eclipse the sun. This is the town's only hotel, where customers sleep 3 and 4 in a wooden bed. A collection of barrels is the only service station for miles. Word from the outside world has traditionally been delivered by traveling storytellers like this man, who bring gossip and entertainment.
Can you please?
The news travels very slowly.
Do you know what happened in America?
I don't know, he says. There are a few radios, so some people have heard about the terrorist attacks and say they feel sorry for America. But television is virtually non-existent here. They had no idea what the tragedy looked like.
This picture is the bombing in America. Yes? Did you see this picture before?
No, I don't saw it.
Many had never even seen a magazine before. Some said they had no idea there were buildings that tall.
When you see this picture,
yeah,
what do you think?
I think it's very bad.
But they clearly have no sense of the intense emotions felt in the United States.
You understand they are very hurt in America? No.
The other reaction we've heard from so many people here, as sorry as we feel for your country, please understand that our people have been suffering and dying for much longer. Mike Lee, ABC News in northern Afghanistan.
On the subject of suffering, when we come back, letters from the children to the children, the Kosovo-New York connection.
Pepperidge Farm Texas Toast.
Hey, I'll get the pasta bowl. It's a silverware.
Hot, crusty garlic toast. Just 5 minutes to make. It's probably ready before you are. Pepperidge Farm. Never have an ordinary day.
Johnson, I'd like to see some ideas on saving the company money. Be back first thing in the morning.
Think.
That's the dumbest!
Drink. Well, Johnson, Staples. That'll save us a lot of money. You are a genius.
Get extra savings for your business all this month at Staples.
Buying or selling a home? RE/MAX agents lighten that load. Averaging more than 13 years experience, they work the kind of practical magic that sets you free. RE/MAX.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
Should have used Preparation H.
Preparation H medicated wipes with aloe, the easy way to cleanse, cool, and soothe. Easier because they're 4 times bigger than Tux pads. Preparation H medicated wipes, big relief.
Once you pass 50, skincare's a whole new game.
L'Oreal introduces Age Perfect anti-sagging and rehydrating treatment.
Because mature skin has issues all its own. It starts to sag, loses resiliency, and needs more moisture.
Age Perfect actually improves skin's resiliency, tightening its network as it deeply rehydrates. So effective, in only 2 weeks, 83% of women reported more resilient skin.
Today, this is what mature skin looks like.
New Age Perfect, only from L'Oreal Paris.
It's an innovation for mature skin.
No can, no fork, no grill. It's the easiest way to a juicy grilled meal your cat can't resist. New from Whiskas.
I do enjoy the pleasures of the grill.
Yeah, I can see that. Whiskas, what cats want.
Who'd you expect? Bob Dole?
Follow Mark Martin and the Viagra racing team this season.
Get to your doctor for a checkup and find out if a free sample of Viagra is right for you.
And for more information right now, race over to Viagra.com.
Tonight, Elway, Courier, Barkley, Philbin. It's the final night of Millionaire Sports Superstars Edition. Followed by the Jets, the Niners, Monday Night Football, the toughest night on television. Starts tonight at 8/7 Central, only on ABC.
Tomorrow, even if we get to Osama bin Laden, will we still need to get to this man? Is he the mastermind behind the terror network? Watch World News Tonight tomorrow.
Just before our last report, a reminder that in the ruins of the World Trade Center, they are beginning to find many human remains. Today, the searchers found the remains of 9 firefighters. Yesterday, they found the remains of 16 firefighters, and almost 300 firefighters are still missing. Finally, this evening, messages from the children for the children. It is now believed that thousands of children lost a parent in the attacks on September the 11th. And therefore they join the sad ranks of children all over the world who have suffered this terrible consequence of war or terror. Last week, the Christian Children's Fund in Virginia got a package of drawings and paintings from Kosovo, from children there who wanted to comfort the children here. Kosovo's children know what it's like to be afraid, to be caught up in an adult world of violence that doesn't make any sense.
They could understand the fear, they could understand the horror, the terror, now the feelings of uncertainty that the children in the whole of the U.S. are experiencing. What's going to happen? And also the feeling, why is it happening to me?
These children at an elementary school are veterans of a war that destroyed their homes and often killed their parents and stole their sense of security. And the first thing they did after September 11th was reach out to those they call their friends in the United States.
I wanted to say to them, don't be afraid. We have survived the same. 3 years ago, we were scared all the time, and now they're going through the exact same thing.
Children from several schools in Kosovo created messages of survival and solidarity in a language that needs no interpretation. A picture of pain and a plea for peace.
Some of these pictures are so wise and so profound, really express many, many things beyond their years.
The years of violence have given these children a special sensitivity to others in pain.
This is so far away from us, but in our hearts is so near.
Messages of hope from other young survivors. That is our report on World News Tonight. Coming up this week on the broadcast, are small cities prepared for bioterrorism? The Egyptian doctor, who is a powerful lieutenant of Osama bin Laden, and the enormous cost of rebuilding New York City. Don't forget Nightline later this evening. I'm Peter Jennings. See you tomorrow, I hope. Good night.
It's gritty. It's exhilarating. It's a dramatic gem.
No.
What's going on?
Get out of there. Hang up.
It's Billy. All new ABC this Tuesday at 10/9 Central. Viewer discretion advised.
Tomorrow morning at 5 live from Islamabad with the very latest on the growing crisis.
That plus your morning commute and your wake-up forecast. Watch Eyewitness News this morning, tomorrow morning, right here on ABC 7.
What do you call a room where everyone loves to gather? Where a color brightens your